Welcome back to the Lawnpro tutorial. We are now in number 4, clock a job time. Clocking a job time is a complicated way to say how we track time. We track time using the time tracking module. The time tracking module is here. We would click on it and we arrive here. Familiar screen with a chart-based bottom portion of the screen, menus and filters that we could select, plus the active button to add time. Along the top here, we'll also see all the submodules. Out of these submodules, the one that we will use the most is the track time, and we will also use the approved track time. The approved track time is mainly for payroll. We won't use or discuss that at the moment, but we will talk about how to create a date and time entry for an employee, as well as edit one. This button here is what we use to create a time entry. Under normal circumstances, employees would be creating their own time entries as they log in and log out of specific jobs, or as they log in or log out for the day. If we wanted to see a full list of what this might look like, we could travel back in time to see what it looked like, say for example on Friday when we had plenty of people working. We will choose the date selector. We will use it as all employees or any employee, any customer, any property, any category, and then hit the apply button. Here we can see the individuals who are working that day and a huge list of all their times. Obviously this isn't that helpful, it's kind of messy. If we wanted to see it a little bit clearer, we would choose one particular employee. Let's choose Mr. Selvin Rolando Ramirez. We will pick him out of the list here. There, we will type in his first name and then hit apply. Here we have all the times for Mr. Ramirez. Mr. Ramirez began work approximately at 7 a.m. and he worked throughout the day, creating this chain of clock ins and clock outs out of all of the respective jobs that he had for the day until he got back to the shop at the end of the day at approximately 5:32. If we needed to edit one of his times, say for example, we knew that he actually did not start at 7 o'clock, but he entered at say 7:06 or 7:05, we would hit this edit button and then a menu would pop up, which we'll explore in a second. We won't edit this time because this time doesn't need editing, but that is exactly how we would edit a previous time. It goes without saying that if you were to edit, say for example, the 8:07 time, you would also need to edit the next time in the chain. So every time you edit one event, if the chain is unbroken, you'll need to edit another time in order to make the two make sense and have a continuous level of time. Let's practice what it would be like to add a time for an employee if, for example, they hadn't clocked in at all. They had forgotten to clock in, they arrived at a job, and then texted you or emailed you, or you communicated with them on a phone call and they said, hey, I forgot to clock in. No problem, you will clock in for them, or you will create a time for them. In this case, we'll create one for the same individual, Mr. Selvin. Actually, we will make one for me, as it will be less interfering with the actual payroll. There I am. Let's just say that I happen to be working at the shop, Depot Lawn Care. We will say that we're working at the shop. The property, actually there's two Depot Lawn Care entries. Let's choose the second one. The second one has an asset associated with it, and that is 2929 Elizabeth Street. The category for this type of work we'll say is B2 hourly work. Very common category, very catch-all general category to use when clocking in a person to a job who is an hourly employee. B2 hourly work. The start date for that time will be today's date, May 29th, and we'll say that I began working, let's say, was at midnight. For ease, we will make it 12:15. Next, we will hit the update button. And here we can see that we've created a time element. Let's say we wanted to add another one. Let's do it again. This time we're going to choose Trent Coakley. We will say that the customer was Depot Lawn Care once again. We will choose the second one, the asset at Elizabeth Street, the category B2 general work. Start time here after my break, say begins at 3:15 a.m. And let's see what's going on here. 3:15 a.m. and we'll say the end time is going to be 4:15 a.m. There we go, and we will add time. So now you can see the two line entries, and it gives me a summation of the time. That is a very basic explanation. We will get into it in more detail at a later time. All we need to cover at this time is just if I wanted to edit it. Let's just say, for example, I didn't mean to type in 4:15, or perhaps I actually worked a little bit longer. We would simply come in, hit the edit button. At this point, the fields that were filled in originally are frozen, and the only thing that I can change are the date and time. So we're going to change this to say 4:18. That's actually what I got out. And now it has been changed to 4:18, and everything is slightly changed. That is the essential function inside the time tracking module.